You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel.
Some changes, all positive ones I hasten to add, and probably the biggest change is we're now working towards what we're calling our 2020 vision. 2020 vision is a strategy that we developed with board members of our organisation, Swale Community Leisure, and with partners, so people like Swale Borough Council, Kent Sport and so on. Going back to 2014, we all got together in a room and thrashed out ideas about how we'd like to see ourselves in 2020. Obviously with clarity of vision, 2020 vision, that's what we're hoping to achieve, but also 2020 was a logical point. It was 6 years away and we wanted to aim towards it to set some targets. That's been developed into a booklet now, which is now available for people, and I'll send you a copy for you to have a look at actually. But it outlines some of the key things we want to achieve, such as developing an outreach programme so that we can work in the community, engage community members and make it easier for people who live in the more outlying areas to access leisure.
Has there been any events or anything interesting happening with Beachfields?
Yes, there has been. There have been two main things I wanted to mention, but I think it was probably a bit remiss of me in the last question. I should mention that we've actually recently employed a community development officer, which we mentioned in our last interview, a gentleman called Ben Ryder, who's settled in very well. So if you see him out in the community wanting to make contacts, build relationships, he's the man to talk to. But in terms of Beachfields, we have had two main things. One of them was we wanted to expand our remit a little bit and involve schools that hadn't been taking part in the project. So we held a schools conference and we invited along all the schools on the island, but we had 9 turn up, which was quite good out of the 12, so we're very pleased with that. And they brought along representatives from their school councils, and what they did was they explored the history and culture of the site. And one example, there was one group that worked on a small short drama around the explosion of a barrage balloon that took place during World War II, and they reenacted it, which was great fun and really good to see. The other thing we've done is we've worked with the Kent School of Architecture, which is part of the University of Kent. They want to take some ideas away from the project and create some designs, so things like redesigning the leisure centre, redesigning the gardens, redesigning the access. So I'm hoping to come up with some really fantastic innovative ideas from them as well.
So what are the plans for this year then?
Well, we want to see the results from the Kent School of Architecture first, but we are continuing to work with the Student Council, which is predominantly secondary and primary age children. And what they're doing is they're looking at the heritage of the site more closely. And with them, we're putting together a bid into the Heritage Lottery Fund, and we're hoping to secure some money. We've met with the HLF, Heritage Lottery Fund, 4 times now, and they're very happy with what we're putting in. So we're hopeful, fingers crossed, but we are hopeful that we'll be successful. And what that'll allow us to do is to look further into the culture and the heritage and the history of the site, so that those young people can then put on a show around the site in a year's time. What that will then allow us to do, taking it one step further, is to allow us to apply for more money with the background knowledge from the HLF that they support our application.
At the moment we're talking to Dave, and he is from Swale Community Leisure. What are the next steps?
Well, Daniel, I think the next steps for us are to build on the work that's been done by the Student Council. So we're putting together all of the evidence of need that we've built up and all of the exploration of the history and culture of the site that the students have done. And what we have to do is we put that together into a bid to the Heritage Lottery Fund. That'll allow us to fund an ongoing project for a year where the students work exploring further on the history of the site and working up towards a show at the end of it where they can showcase everything that they found out. The importance for that is if we can deliver that well, Heritage Lottery Fund have said they would then entertain us putting a bid in for a large sum of money, shall we say, which would allow us enough funding to regenerate the whole site, which is the ultimate aim. So those are the next steps for us firmly.
So are there any other projects taking place on Sheppey?
Yes, I mean, there are quite a number of small, interesting projects, but I think the two I wanted to mention was, first of all, we're working with the Dame Kelly Holmes Trust. Kelly Holmes, of course, made her name as an Olympic athlete, but she wanted to give something back to the community, so she set up a trust trying to work with different groups, but predominantly unemployed young people. So we use the disparaging term in my mind, NEETs, so not in employment, educational training. But there are a lot of young people who just need a helping hand to get them back up on the ladder, as it were. So using former Olympic athletes and former sports people to inspire these young people, we've been working with the Dame Kelly Holmes Trust to get them back into work. We worked with a cohort of about 27 people at the last one, ran for 8 weeks, and at the end of that we dropped down to about 16, which sounds like most of them had left, but actually the majority of those people had gone back into work, got jobs, taken part in work experience, waiting for jobs, or back in education. So to me it's been a real success, and we're going to carry on with that. And the last thing I wanted to mention that is coming up on the 20th of March, we are hosting the Sport Relief Mile at Sheppey Leisure Complex. We're also doing that at Swallows in Sittingbourne as well, but I know we're here on the island, so we concentrate on Sheppey. So there will be a 1 mile and a 3 and a 6 mile run. Look on the Sport Relief website for more information.
Are there any plans for the future?
Yes, we certainly do have plans for the future, most of which I have to say are laid out in our 2020 vision strategy. Strategy is a grand word, but actually this is about what we want to, tells people where we want to be and what we want to achieve. So things like the regeneration of the park area and leisure centre in Sheerness is a key target for us. And we want to provide a service that's better than that is provided at the moment. We're also keen to come up with some inspirational ideas from working with the Kent School of Architecture and the Beachfield Student Council, and those ideas are starting to come together now. So my hope is the next time I'm on the station, which we're hoping may be in April, I can tell you some more about what we're planning and how we're going to showcase those over the summer. If anybody's got any questions though, please feel free to contact me, and you can contact me on inquiries@swaleleisure.org or via our Facebook sites. We have 2 Facebook sites, Gym in Swale or Swim in Swale. You can contact me via either of those and ask any questions you'd like. Plus I said I'd give you an update for your website as well, Daniel.
Yes, that'd be really, really good. Dave, if you're happy we've covered everything, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along. We look forward to seeing you in April.
Thank you very much.